again. Today I'm going to talk about mealworms and why we grow them for our plants as well as for our little friends like our chickens and our ducks. But we found the most benefit to be actually for our plants. So I'll explain how we use them, and at the end I'll show you how to set up a mealworm bin. It's super easy. So first, let me explain why we actually have mealworms. Mealworms are not something maybe most gardeners have thought of having if they are not a reptile, bird, or fish enthusiast and need a little snack to feed or food source to feed their little pets. We originally did get our mealworms for a snack for our chickens, mostly in the winter, thinking that would be a good protein source for them. Our chickens are free range. They have access to a lot of land to wander about on. But on that time we had over 20 chickens and they eat a lot. So we had thought it'd be a good thing to do. However, their life cycle is not quite as quick, or it wasn't as quick for us then as we had thought it would be. And we weren't producing as many mealworms in as quick a time as we would like to be able to give the extras to our chickens. And we started doing a little research on the frass, the poop that they produce, and decided that that was actually a better use, well, dual purpose, I guess you could say, use of the mealworms. The frass is very beneficial to plants. So, for one thing, it's a fantastic fertilizer. It's full of good nutrition and microorganisms that will benefit the plants. But it also contains chitin. Now, chitin is this substance that helps the plants build thicker cell walls. And the way this happens is the chitin produces a response in the plants. The plants think they're about to enter a war zone. They think that there's going to be an insect infestation or some sort of a pathogen infestation, and they have to do whatever they can do to fight that off. So they develop thicker wall cells. Now the EPA tells us, I'm going to read it here because I don't remember this stuff in my brain. The EPA tells us that chitin helps protect against fungal pathogens, blights, gray mold, and powdery mildew. I live in the Pacific Northwest. Those are all things that I have to worry about. Molds and mildews and blights, I don't know. Those might not be as prevalent in drier areas with less humidity, but they might. I just know what I know from where I grow, and that's something that we have an issue with. So the frass helping the plants protect themselves against that thing is a huge benefit. And it's no odor. It's like sand. It's not like what you think of as poo. It's literally like sand. It doesn't smell. It's actually kind of fun to play with. It's like sand. And it's really easy. We just filter, like strain, use a little strainer, and strain out the frass a couple times a year, store it in a jar, and then anytime we want to use it, we have a fertilizer. So it can be sprinkled on the garden and worked in amongst the plants. Potted plants, it can you can use a compost tea. Just take about 1 teaspoon per gallon of water, mix it up, and then water your plant as normal, or use it as a foliar feeding, where you can just put it right on the plant itself, and it gives the nutrients as well as the chitins in there with the nutrients, of course. So that is pretty much why we are growing mealworms at this point. At this point, we don't have enough of them that we want to feed them to our chickens. We want to just keep growing our population bigger and bigger. And then when we have excess, we will be able to feed them to our chickens. I mean, we have fed them to our chickens and our ducks. But for the most part, we're just like growing ours larger. We didn't have chickens for, I don't know, a couple years. And so then we got rid of the mealworms. And now we have started back again. So I hadn't purchased any mealworms for quite some time. I wasn't sure how much they cost. So I went ahead to our local feed store and purchased some mealworms. It was $5.50 for the little container. I'm not sure how many are in there. I think she told me a number count, but I'll show you the little container. So that's it. I believe it cost $5.50. Yeah, is what it says. I'm going to open it up. Let's pour them out and see how many we get for that amount. Not a ton. This time I got the medium-sized ones. The ones we had before were the smaller. They're harmless, you know, even the biggest ones won't do any damage. I feel like she told me there were 60 in here, and that might be what there is. So anyways, let me show you how to build them a home. So you're going to need some sort of a little container. This is the biggest, this is what I use. It's a Dollar Tree shoebox bin. And then you need some oats or bran or some sort of meal for them to eat. And then apples, carrots, potatoes, something that you're going to slice up and put inside here for them to get their moisture from. They don't get like a tub of water to drink out of. They simply drink. They just rest on here and get their moisture out of the apple or whatever you give them. I give them about between 1/4 and 1/2 inch of oats, and that will last an extremely long time. And I'm just going to take an apple wedge and put one on each end of my bin. So that's what their home looks like. It is that easy. And then we're just going to sprinkle these guys in. And then I usually top them with a little piece of paper towel to give them somewhere to go under. I'm going to get some toilet paper rolls because I've been saving some and give those to them to live in. They like to go hide from the light. They'll mostly use those tubes when they become beetles. So it'll be a while for these guys. Just good night, little fellas. So this is the frass. It is, like I mentioned before, it's not really like sand, I guess. Oops, let me focus it. It's like a fine silt. It's dry. It's not dirty at all. Just, it's like a really silty substance. So yeah, I just save it in a container and keep it until I need it. And that's it. That's all you have to do to make them a home. And then the maintenance is every couple days walk by, check and make sure the apple, carrot, potato, whatever you put in there isn't drying out because they need to have some moisture. The beetles will suck the moisture out of the pupa and maybe the larva as well, but I know for sure the pupa, I've seen them do it, if they don't have a supply of water. They need to survive, so they get it somewhere. But yeah, that's the end of that. So yeah, if you found that useful at all, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and until next time, see ya.